Hey moguls, what's up? It's your girl Nigel Monet, and you have reached my YouTube channel, Mogul Minded Solutions. This section of my channel is called Melanated and Infocated, and over here we keep you informed, updated, and educated on all of the latest news media, pop culture events, and more that are going to be directly affecting us and our community. The topics that I cover in this section are not for you if you are not a critical thinker, an analytical thinker, a mover, or a shaker. This is exactly who this section is targeting in my channel here. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. The people who see the world that we live in today and understand exactly what it is, for what it is, and are not afraid to make that positive change in their communities or generally on the world itself. Okay. So, with all that being said, all that has been going on today in popular culture, right? The government has been doing an amazing job at keeping the people dumbed down. Excuse me. I really meant to say entertained there. Okay, guys. For weeks, my YouTube highlights have featured things like Krishan and Blue Rock turning into the modern day Ike and Tina before our very eyes. Cardi B strong arming Tasha K's bank account, her home, her cars, her life, right? Nicki Minaj beefing with any and everybody in the industry who does the same thing that she does and is genetically made the same way as her. And of course, I can't forget this, everyone's favorite YouTube Facebook couple, Mr. and Mrs. LaBuse. Their drama has been just too much for me to digest. I don't even know, okay? I don't know, don't want to understand. T obviously has been piping hot these days. So what have I been doing? Obviously, I've been keeping myself entertained as I have been able to kind of regurgitate all of this to you guys. But as entertained as I have been, all of the mess has had me wondering what is coming. What does the government have coming for me, for us, for our people here? Okay. The last time that pop culture was forced down our throats and into our minds this way, we were hit with the pandemic. I stole that term from Hassan Campbell. So don't be on here under here calling me a swagger jacker because his community goes the freak hard. I don't know what the hell. But okay. Yes, as I said, we were hit with that pandemic. So while I have been consuming all of the juicy tea, all of these juicy details that have been going on, I've been wondering what has the government been cooking up in the wake of all of this madness. In doing so, I started watching the news more and clicking on more politically centered content. And guys, I came across something that absolutely positively just pissed me off. Okay. And if you are like me, then you're going to be just as pissed. So go grab a pack of Depends because baby, we want to ride together. Right. Today, I'm going to be sharing an older clip with you guys from roughly about 2 months ago. And I came across this clip on Papa Duck's YouTube channel platform. Okay. Now, I did have this clip for a while. He posted it 2 months ago, and when he posted it is when I came across it. But I sat on this information because I'm definitely a see it to believe it kind of girl, okay? And I believe that the things that have been going on with like Kanye is all of the proof that I needed to see before my eyes to go on ahead and move forward with pumping this out. Obviously, I also did tons and tons and tons of research on it so I could get the facts straight to you guys as it is in black and white, okay? And as I understand it to be. Like I said, I'm going to share this clip with you from about 2 months ago. The post is titled, "What They Got Coming for Us, .. And when I say this shook me to my core, okay? Now, obviously, guys, I don't want to give too many details away. I will say that, however, it was not Papa Duck himself speaking in the video. It was Dr. Tawanda. Before we do hop into this clip, guys, or this clip, I should say, I am going to go on ahead, give you guys a brief overview on these two figures, who they are, and why it is that I feel that they are reliable sources to take this information from, okay? Also, guys, before we move any further, please do definitely hit that subscribe button, the post bell notification, and then that all button so that you are updated as I drop new content to the channel whenever it is that I do drop the new content to the channel, okay? Without really much more being said, guys, I'm about to cue this intro. Please, again, smash that subscribe, like, share, okay? And let's hop into it.
All them late nights up crying, no sleep, pressure on, now I'm here shining.
All right, guys. So first things first, as I said, we're going to review these two figures, who they are and why it is that I view them as reliable sources, okay? So starting out with Papa Duck, he is a rapper and producer turned public figure and like motivational speaker, okay? And he's from Belle Glade, Florida. I came across him originally on Facebook, but ironically not as the rapper and producer that he is, just as a figure. Okay, his social media content since I've come across him has covered things like popular conspiracy theories, motivational messages, popular pop culture events. Definitely, he does give his angle on a lot of things that have gone on in politics, et cetera, in the world. Okay, he has informed me by way of his content of how truly American citizens are on its government and how the government is cold-heartedly abusing that and manipulating it to its power. Okay. Through his content, obviously, I was also introduced to Dr. Tawanda, who is going to be the lady speaking in this video that you guys will be viewing in just a second. Okay. She too is a motivational speaker. She's also a business and financial consultant as well. She says that she is dedicated to helping small business owners 100 times their businesses so that they can become big business owners who create financial freedom for their people and generational wealth, okay? Which is a lovely thing to want to get behind, a lovely thing to want to represent and stand for in and of itself as a whole. She has been seen on various news media outlets like Fox, NBC, and CBS. And like Papa Duck, her content generally does cover things like popular pop culture events, motivational messages, definitely a whole lot of politics going on over there, and popular conspiracy theories as well. Without me kind of dragging this on longer than it needs to go, guys, we're going to go right on ahead. We're going to hop into that clip. It's about 6 minutes long. Grab your popcorn, grab a soda. Definitely make sure you are sitting or laying down when you receive this message, okay? Okay.
Now this right here, I don't know if everybody's seen this, but I'm just going to show it to you in case you have not. IRS job listing. Special agents must carry a firearm and be willing to use deadly force. Now, I'm sure a lot of us have already saw that they have just recently hired 87,000 new special agents that must carry a firearm and be willing to use deadly force. Well, let me show y'all who they gonna be using deadly force on. So the job listing says, as a special agent, you will combine your accounting skills with law enforcement skills to investigate financial crimes. Pay attention, family. Special agents are duly sworn law enforcement officers who are trained to follow the money. No matter what the source, all income earned, both legal and illegal, has the potential of becoming involved in crimes which fall within the investigative jurisdiction of the IRS criminal investigation. Because of the expertise required to conduct these complex financial investigations, IRS special agents are considered the premier financial investigators for the federal government. It goes on to describe special agents' major duties, which include carrying a firearm, being willing to use deadly force if necessary. Applicants for the special agent position must also be willing and able to participate in arrests, execution of search warrants, and other dangerous assignments. Breitbart News reported on June 19th that Representative Matt Gaetz concerns over the IRS purchase of approximately $700,000 of ammunition between March and June 1st of this year. Now I want to show y'all what all this means. Now, these are training exercises that took place in 2021 of heavily armed IRS special agents raiding suburban homes. Okay. I hope y'all see where we're going with this. Now, let me just get to the meat, okay? We're going to skip past all of this. Just show y'all who houses in these suburban homes. You see this foolishness? This is the IRS way. Busting up in people's homes. Going up in people's businesses. Doing these mock trainings. $700,000 in ammunition. I mean, who they training for? Y'all about to find out. Just hold on 1 second. Now, this was from their website. I took a screenshot of this part particularly for this reason. It says, billions to the IRS to beef up enforcement and hiring. The prospect of a revitalized IRS is causing some consternation among some Republican lawmakers and taxpayers who express fear that the proposed funding could be used to target workers and middle-class families. Indeed, Republicans on Tuesday warned taxpayers that the agency wants to hire 87,000 new IRS agents to audit Walmart shoppers. You see that? Walmart shoppers. Those that make more than $100,000, your IRS audit risk just doubled. IRS is auditing the poor at 5 times the rate of everyone else, while the estimate of 87,000 new employees isn't entirely accurate. The Inflation Reduction Act would inject some urgently needed funds at the tax. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Now look at this. Now this right here is the CSRQ-SM, which is just another long dumb name for the social credit scoring system that will enslave millions. Now, just pay attention to these cards. You have Benjamin Shapiro, Dennis Mark Prager, and Gavin C. Newsom. It will have their balance, which they are rich, millions of dollars. What type of account? Sovereign. Do they have any account limits on their account? Nope. Asset limits on their account? Nope. You see that right there? That status, exempt, and carbon score, exempt. So if you don't have this type of money, you don't have this type of privilege on this new social credit scoring system. If you're poor and you get their handouts, then you'll have a balance. However, if you post things on social media or you go against the grain, you will have restrictions where it says limits. And then if you don't have this right there, you will be restricted. So listen up here, brothers and sisters. I have been saying for quite some time that we ain't got time to play. I hope y'all believe me now. I hope y'all hear what it is that we out here on the front lines saying, that this is intended for a people.
All right, guys. So you heard it here. As she said, this is meant for a specific group of people. We're not going to spell it out on here. You guys know what she mean the same way I know what she mean. If you know, you know, and if you don't, you don't, and it's okay. You can stay sleep over there somewhere. This channel is not for you, straight like that, okay? Now, let's get into what the social credit scoring system even is, and then what it means for you, and then how it is that you can be seen in favor of this new thing that's going on, okay? So first things first, guys, the social credit scoring system targets government agencies. It assesses the local government's general performance, and it also focuses on financial problems such as government defaults and contract defaults as well. Government debts and contract defaults. I'm sorry, guys. If pitched at all to the general population, which it has to be, guys, it is pitched as a unified nationwide social rating system, okay? But it is hardly that. Every citizen is going to receive a score to start out with, which I believe, although I don't have any physical proof of this, I want to say, but I believe our personal credit scores is what is going to mainly help them determine where it is that we fit inside of this social scoring system, okay? Certain actions that you do, certain activities that you partake in can either elevate or lower your score, okay? So what are these activities? What can affect my score? Well, if you smoke, if you drink, things of this nature, purchasing products like this is going to have points deducted. Whereas if you, let's say, donate to charity, which is a very big point that they stressed across articles as I researched this, that would then elevate your score, okay? While it was pitched, like I said, as that unified nationwide social rating system, it simply is a judgment of citizen behavior and of trustworthiness in a whole, okay? This system allows the government to punish the common people in any way possible for anything that they want to punish them for, okay? So give me some examples. What do you mean the government is going to punish us? Well, okay, if you drive bad, right? Which really anything can make someone determine that you are a bad driver. Bad driving obviously is going to be something that drags your point down. Now, let's kind of unpack that a little bit. Let's say that you just received your license, right? So therefore, obviously, if you've just gotten your license, you aren't as experienced a driver as, say, someone who is a truck driver who maybe has driven for 20 plus years, 30 plus years, et cetera, right? So with that being said, let's also couple this with the fact that, you know, different states have different driving laws, obviously, as the different populations will determine how fast, how slow, whatever the cars get to go, if you get to turn on red, et cetera, et cetera. Let's say that you go to a state like, I'm gonna say Virginia, where I believe it is legal for you to turn on a red light. Or, you know what, let me stay within my limits. Let's say that you travel to Connecticut from New York, okay? I am from New York and currently I live in Connecticut myself. So out here, when you drive, you're able to turn on a red light. You're able to make a right on a red light. You can't make a left. Out in New York, you have to wait if you want to make that turn, okay? So let's say, again, we're gonna take you back. You're from New York, you're an 18-year-old, you just got your license. You go drive to see your grandma in Connecticut, and you don't know that you have to turn on red. You get what I'm saying? And then you get ticketed for that. That would now make you a bad driver, which is not fair because you didn't really have that much experience in driving in itself, okay? Now, what is something else that maybe can affect your score? If you're someone who buys too many video games, which I think I kind of get the idea of why, because, you know, it's not like video games promote the safest and the healthiest of lifestyles. But if that's how you as a person choose to decompress, and so therefore you buy video games in bulk, then your score could get lowered for that too. And then last but not least, something that's a little bit more understandable, stealing. However, I also don't see the problem in just throwing a thief in jail because they were stealing, right? I don't see the point in adding and deducting points from humans like their avatars in a video game. Really, that's what I was trying to get at, okay? This system also rates individuals based on the aggregation and the analysis of data that has been, they've stolen that essentially. How? By way of things like your phone, your laptops and tablets, right? You have all of this sensitive information on these things. As far as right now with the iPhones, I know that you're able to do things like add your regular respiratory rate inside of there, your heart rate, things like that. And it's like, why does this information need to be on my phone in the first place? You can add things like if you have any sicknesses, any ailments, illnesses, et cetera, right? Or they kind of started that a little bit back in the day with like the driver's license as well, when they added that organ donor thing, which is another scam in and of itself, but that's another video for another day, guys, okay? In any event, the system itself reinforces the notion that having wholehearted trustworthiness in your government is a glorious thing for you as a citizen, and to ever question, to ever side eye your government, you will be seen as a disgrace, okay? Obviously, what this is going to lead up to is a violation of and eventual eradication of things like the freedom of speech, things like your freedom of thought, things like freedom in general, okay? And then also, not to mention your ability to climb up and down certain social standings as well as tax brackets, which I believe that if you are a person and you are breathing air on this earth here, you should have the ability to move up and down freely as you choose, okay? Now, I want to play a game with you guys, okay? And the name of this game is Notice a Pattern, okay? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to introduce to you 4 territories where this social credit scoring system is already in place, okay? So what you do as the player is you guess the pattern. And if you notice the pattern, drop for me in the comments the word that you need to drop in the pattern, all right? So this system has already been effectively put into place in various territories across our world, okay? Some of these places include, but guys, is not limited to, China, New Zealand, the UK, and Australia. Have you noticed a pattern? If you have noticed it, drop your answer down in the comments. And if not, I'm going to let you in on this little secret and alert you of what this pattern is and why it is something that you should be concerned of. So first things first, these are all communistic territories. So what does this mean? This means that the government has complete and total control over its people, okay? If you do not exactly know what communism is in the dictionary, it is defined as a political and economic ideology that positions itself in opposition to liberal democracy and capitalism, advocating for instead a classless system in which the means of production are owned communally by everyone, or private property is either non-existent, so private property doesn't exist, or severely curtailed, which means that if you own anything, it is not much. I don't need to elaborate on how this completely deficits the nation as a whole. I think that at this day and age, we all understand ownership, and we all understand both the benefits of ownership as well as some of the negative factors, the negative things that can happen if you aren't responsible with any of the things that you do own, okay? So yeah, something like this is something that, like I said, is only going to set us back, but it is also coming to a nation near you, okay? So by now, you need to be scared. You want to know what this means for you as a US citizen? Let's get into it, okay? Well, guys, if you have anything right now that is negatively affecting your name, i.e. you have, let's say, student loans to pay, let's say you maybe are facing eviction, let's say maybe your car is at risk of getting booted and towed for whatever reason, you get what I'm saying? These are all negative things that would be affecting your name. And if that is the case for you, then you are already on thin ice. Obviously, the more of these negative factors that you have affecting your name, the worse of a position that you are. And baby, it's time to tighten up. There's no way around it, okay? The more likely that you are to be shut out. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Any negative interaction that you have had moving forward, and we'll say from this point forward, right? And even anything that has happened in the near past, so anything that recently happened to you that negatively affects you could lower your score, okay? This system is still fresh, this system is still new, and the system is still vulnerable. What do I mean by that? that means that the system can be easily tricked, okay? And in fact, there have been cases where it has been tricked already, and we are getting to that. Obviously, the system being this new, this fresh, makes it harder for you just to get by on a day-by-day basis, because of the fact that anyone, whether they are a state or government official or not, can affect your social standing, okay? So let's get into a few of these ways. I'm gonna let you guys know in advance. One of these is a complete jump out of a window without a bungee, so just bear with me as I explain it, okay? Let's talk about some attacks on the technical implementation that a system like this would have, okay? So first things first, a countrywide control over the actions and movements of every citizen is a requirement for this to be an effective system, first and foremost, okay? It mandates coordination between a massive number of various types of sensors and tracking devices, all united underneath the term Internet of Things, or otherwise known as IoT. So we all have an IoT. I have an IoT. You have an IoT. Your mama, auntie, sister, cousin has an IoT. Oh, guess what? Even your best friend. Your best friend has one too. So would you like to know what makes your IoT up? Let's start talking about that. Any devices that you have that are connected to your Wi-Fi or your internet make up your IoT, okay? If you have an app that allows you to lock and unlock your door from the phone, that is on your IoT. If you have a computer that a printer that censors you when you are running out of ink, that is on your IoT, okay? If you have a heart implant, which this one hit a little bit closer to home for me, not because I know anyone in this situation or I'm in this situation myself, but I just understand that people of all ages are affected by this one, but that also is an IoT. Now, what this means essentially to me is that they can bring down security systems in more ways than one. You need to be worried about more than just your home here. You need to be worried about your money. You need to be worried about something like your car. You need to, especially if you have like a Tesla, okay? You need to be worried about a lot here, okay? So any and every smart device that allows you to alter something in some way, shape, or form, anything even that needs to be charged is now your mortal enemy, okay? So definitely consider putting as little sensitive information as possible in these things. And that goes for the way that you unlock them too. I understand that facial recognition is the most convenient thing ever right now, but honestly, guys, let's be smart. Just put your numbers back in your phone and start tapping them numbers. It takes 3 seconds more out of your day. Yes, it does. But at the very least, it's keeping your information safe. Okay. Also, two-step verification. This shit came out of nowhere. I don't even know what made me just say that, but that's something else too. You shouldn't have to double down on securing something like your email. Like I don't get it. But anyway, any devices that's okay. We already talked about that. Obviously, this is not entirely secure. Okay. Internet connected devices obviously can easily be hacked. This is something that I just said. Your IoTs are developed at rapid rates. However, there are overarching security precautions that have not been taken. They haven't even taken the time to see how they can better protect these devices, these apps, these things, okay? With the exception of maybe two-step verification, which brings me, guys, to the obvious point that the more devices you have connected to your Wi-Fi or internet is the more open you are to becoming hacked. Now, this is going to bring me straight to something else called the World Economic Forum, okay? This forum had predicted right before it happened, maybe a month or so before the COVID pandemic. So before we start talking more about that, I just want to introduce you guys to the platform first off and invite you guys to at least Google World Economic Forum, go through it, and maybe go through it on a weekly basis, a bi-weekly basis, a monthly basis. It depends on how you're able to consume that type of information, because that can definitely be an energy blow for a lot of people, and I understand that. So as you are able to consume that type of stuff, definitely start increasing more. You get what I'm saying? As you notice that your tolerance level increase how much you're intaking from them. Okay. They have, like I said, accurately predicted the COVID pandemic. And when they did, they mentioned that it was inevitable. To me, inevitable means that it's absolutely positively going to happen. It's just a matter of time. Okay. They have also now predicted a cyber pandemic. Now, before I get into this and I pretty much over explain this, right, and make myself look like a fool, I'm going to allow you guys to sit in on the same information that I came across when I learned of this myself. Okay.
Is what would you do if they brought the power grid down? And by they, I mean if the government purposefully brought the power grid down. And I'm not asking that question for fun. I'm asking that question because the World Economic Forum is predicting that a cyber pandemic, you can look this up, they've been running exercises about it this year, is inevitable. You're probably saying, what is a cyber pandemic? It doesn't make any sense. Like, what are we even talking about? Well, first and foremost, the reason I'm even paying attention to the World Economic Forum and their exercises is because they notoriously, in 2019, ran an exercise for a coronavirus pandemic that oddly all became true. I mean, without one slight difference. They said that the coronavirus was going to escape from a wet market in South America. Of course, when the coronavirus swept the world in 2020, they said that it escaped from a wet market in China. You can still look that up, by the way. That's not a conspiracy theory. They simulated that coronavirus pandemic. It was the World Economic Forum in collaboration with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, in collaboration with Johns Hopkins University. And the website is still up, and they say, the coronavirus pandemic is inevitable. And then boom, it happened the very next year. So people say it's a conspiracy theory to believe that they knew that the coronavirus pandemic was going to happen. You don't have to believe it was a conspiracy theory, or you can believe it wasn't a conspiracy theory. It's up to you. I don't really care. The point is that they made the prediction, they called it inevitable, and then it happened immediately. So for me personally, that signals to me that I should probably pay attention the next time the World Economic Forum makes a prediction and calls it inevitable. And lo and behold, they are predicting that a coronavirus pandemic, a cyber pandemic, is going to happen, and that it is once again inevitable. So if you look into the exercise that they have run this year, I believe they ran it in July. They've been meeting and talking about the cyber pandemic, what it would look like. Essentially, their idea is that they're going to have to sanitize the internet because a bug, think of it as like a coronavirus for your computer, is going to sweep globally, and the only way they're going to be able to stop this bug from infecting everything is to effectively shut down the internet, right? And they were talking about bringing down the power grid in an effort to do this. So imagine the government bringing down the power grid, and you would not have access to anything that required an electrical charge.
Okay, guys. So first things first, if you do not like Candace Owens, please take the message, leave the messenger. You don't have to like her for the information to be factual. Okay. And that's not to say that everything as she says is factual either. It's just this hit. Okay. With that being said, we're going to talk about the attacks on program and implementation that this system will have on us. Okay, so first things first, this is going to basically tap on machine-based learning and algorithms and things of that nature. So machine learning-based scoring mechanism carries an additional risk factor for attacks against algorithms, which basically is saying if you have any like social media apps on your phone, that is an additional method in which you can be hacked from. Okay, a large portion of tasks in the social scoring system requires the use of speech and facial recognition. Again, I said you have things like your phone, which you have to use your face to unlock, right? Now let's think of the speech recognition. We also have on our phone Siri. Some of us have Alexa. Some people have Cortana. Whoever it is that you're talking to, that's the robot. Yeah, that's speech recognition. So while it may be fun to ask those really funny off-the-wall questions and get those really funny off-the-wall responses, I would interact with those things as little as possible, okay? Large volumes of text information, for example, a social media post, is going to automatically be analyzed. So this is the reason why if you are, let's say, Facebook feuding with someone, everyone does it, okay, and you slip up and call a girl a B. You are now in Facebook jail for the next 14 to 30 days. So yeah, I can't remember a time in the past where, first off, that would have been okay to like really, really be fine tooth watching people like that. And second off, I can't see where it would have flew either. Like that just doesn't make sense. And it's funny that people are finding themselves often in these social media lockdown situations and you're just taking it on the chin. That is a blow to the face. It is no reason why somebody should be able to lock you up that fast for, first off, defending yourself if you were defending yourself, right? And second off, just speaking. Okay. This is accomplished, right? The way that they get this information so quick is accomplished with something called neural networks based on your current methods of deep learning. All right. Obviously, guys, this is highly vulnerable and this is extremely easy to trick. As I told you, researchers have actually already tricked a facial recognition system into misrepresenting their, or misinterpreting, I should say, I'm sorry, their identity by doing something as simple as wearing hallucinogenic print glasses. Okay, this type of attack is called adversarial machine learning, and it was done under the assumption that someone would be hacking into or attempting to hack into some type of a system, some type of an app that you have for a malicious purpose. Because let's be real, if someone is going to go through the trouble of masking their identity, they're not looking to play a fun game of mistaken identity to show you that they can get into your phone without your help. Okay, this means that there are dark ulterior motives for some reason. Okay, you want to think something like tricking a self-driving car by speeding through stop signs, speeding through red lights, or something of that matter. Now we're going to get into that off the wall, jumping out the window kind of example here, right? You could purchase a special t-shirt with various license plate numbers that would trigger automatic license plate readers, aka those cameras that flash you when you speed and pass the red light. Should you jaywalk or park illegally, the security cameras will register the license plate numbers on the shirt as the violators. So in the event that, let's say that this is a shirt that you and your family say, hey, let's just put our license plates on t-shirts and wear it to the family reunion, right? You go to the store to go get a bag of ice. There's no parks anywhere. You double park on the street somewhere, get out your car. The camera snaps your shirt and it got your favorite cousin's license plate. And now favorite cousin got to get a ticket. And likewise with the jaywalking thing, you can jaywalk across the street as well. And because it snapped, your mother's license plate, now mom got to get a ticket. And it's all because you couldn't cross the street correctly or park correctly. You get what I'm saying? So you have to really be conscious and self-aware of everything that you do, because anything that you do can not only get yourself in trouble, it can get literally anyone that you know in trouble, or even like total strangers in trouble who you don't know, right? It's this sort of one bad apple spoils the bunch type of deal going on here for some reason. And I have no idea why. Now we're going to talk of the attacks on the systems mechanics, okay? The system mechanics of things. This speaks of the vulnerability and desired outcomes. So obviously what they are hoping, or what they're saying they're hoping, is that they create a society that's more self-aware now and that is paying more attention to the things that they're consuming into their bodies and into their minds. And they are more in touch with the human nature way of things versus this, what we have, very pop culture reality TV way of things, which is why I started this video out how I did, to be honest with you guys, okay? So rules for certain actions can lead to unexpected, undesirable results. What do you mean? Well, this is what I mean. Some of these already existing systems in all of those other countries that I named earlier are currently rating based on how many bad purchases their citizens are making. Again, to refresh your memory, a bad purchase is something like cigarettes, alcohol, or anything of that nature, okay? Obviously, this can create a new type of black market in which people with higher scores are selling these things on the back end to those people with the lower scores so that they're able to either pay their way up or like catch up in some kind of a way. Now, obviously, if these people are caught selling these bad products to these people, first off, whoever it is that they're caught selling to, right? The person that they're caught selling to is going to have their score hit up again, obviously, and then that person's score is hit. But being that they're already in a more desirable state, they can simply do something like donate to a charity or a political organization. So like the Policeman's Bowl, you'll have like the Fireman's Bowl, Governor's Bowl, all of these sorts of things. And then that obviously can help them balance their score out or at least get back to where they were close enough. Okay. So that's how they would be able to counteract negative scoring. But obviously, if you're already in an undesirable zone, your life is severely affected, right? And there would be nothing that you could do about it in that situation. This kind of makes this kind of a system a second currency because you're able to manipulate mechanisms. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm reading kind of from my notes, okay? So you're able to manipulate mechanisms used for establishing the rating. Your score can be converted into real money and vice versa. Okay. So basically you can use your score, you can convert that into money, or you can pay to have your score boosted. Okay. Okay. Now, this is as easy as the system is to manipulate. Consequences can essentially determine your life, your livelihood, and your lifestyle. All right. Obviously, this is going to completely change the face of society as we know it. Everything from your ability to do something like ride public transportation to what it is that you do for a living is going to count on this score, on this number that they are just randomly giving us now, okay? A person's social standing literally directly correlates to what their score is, and it directly affects the three aspects that form the basis of social stratification. Just in case you forgot, Little Kim told us this in the 90s, and they are as follows.
I believe in money, power, respect. First you get the money, then you get the motherfucking power. After you get the fucking power, motherfuckers will respect you. Money, power, respect, what you mean life.
Now that your memory is refreshed, let's hop into it, right? So let's talk about wealth, right? The money. If a person is born to parents with a low social rating, he or she most likely will not have the opportunity to enter a good paid school or to obviously graduate to have a job that is worth something that is able to help them get out of whatever disparaging situation it may be. Okay. As a result, this person has a much smaller chance of receiving a quality education, like I said, finding a good job, a good paid position, thereby severely restricting their income and severely affecting their quality of life. On the other hand, if a person is in good standing, they'll have access to the best jobs, they'll have access to the best education, meaning that he or she can always maintain a high rating by donating to charity, okay? Next, we're going to talk about the power. If a citizen with a low rating will potentially not be able to occupy a management position in a state or a commercial structure, which means that depending on how low your score is, you may not even be eligible to manage McDonald's, which is absolutely insane because you do not need any type of real formal training to manage a McDonald's. As a result, power continues to stay with those who first built this ranking system and determined the rules for calculating these scores. Crazy. And now the respect, or as I have it here, prestige, okay? Public censure is one of the main instruments used by the operators of those systems that are currently existing to maintain control. So what exactly am I saying? Censorship is how they're doing their thing here. This is how they keep the control. Information about undesirable citizens located nearby will be posted in public domain, and people who are not considered undesirable but do communicate with anyone who is undesirable will have their score lowered and affected. Okay, as a result, people with the low ratings will eventually become outcasts to society, which If you're introverted, may not sound like all that much of a bad thing. You like to be by yourself anyway, but most people are extroverted and most people like to be around the people that love them. This is going to only create an influx, in mental health crisis. Okay. You're gonna have people going stir the fuck crazy. Like, let's call it what it is, because they can't be around the people that they are normally around, and the people that they love on, and people that they want to love on them and appreciate them, and things of this nature. Imagine what that would do to anybody. Okay. Prestige always is going to stay with those who are either born into it or who purchase their way to the top. So let's talk a little bit about how it is that you can prepare to be in favor of such a government society. If it doesn't scare you, you should be mad as hell right now. America is supposed to be the land of the free, right? And not only was it built off the blood, sweat, tears, and backs of our ancestors, it's looking like it's going to be destroyed off the blood, sweat, tears, and backs of our ancestors too. The iron is hot right now. It's like really, really hot, which means it's time for us to strike. Okay. Do not let anyone ever default you back to where it is that they believe that you have never had the right to leave from, and that is a plantation. Okay. We've already overeducated ourselves. We're already building. So this is the way to beat and defeat the system. Okay. Education and building. In my eyes, personally, I feel that slavery was never truly abolished. It was glamorized, and it definitely was popularized and commercialized as well. In 2022, this is the current year, the Black man is still 3/5 a man in the Constitution, which to me is deplorable, which I always did believe deep down as a child, as a teenager. I guess it was naivety or something like that, that eventually one day in my later, but still younger years of life, I would get to see the day in the Constitution that a Black man is 100% a man, because you can't fraction a person off. Okay. Unfortunately, what I hoped for never came true. So, yeah. So now we here. I do not have the power. I'm aware of the fact that I don't have the power to take these concerns about the issues that a system like this can possibly have on the people of lower, or the people who are in lower society, middle society. You get what I'm saying? I don't have the power to change 3/5 a man to 100% of a man inside of the Constitution. I do have three things though. I have a voice, I have a platform, and I have courage. And those three things is all that I need in order to connect with like-minded individuals who look like me, who think like me, and who want to defeat the system, stay 12 steps ahead at all times, 112 steps ahead. Okay. So if you are that person, listen up, because we're about to beat the system in so many different ways here. Okay. First, I'm going to share some free business startup information that I have with you guys. And then we're going to go on to some affordable things that I'll be having starting soon. And then obviously the more costly things. Okay. Which also are the most drastically discounted. So yes, let's get started. Free business startup production information and resource. The first is going to be for those of you who are product-based business owners. Now, initially, I'm going to start out with those of you who are looking to build in the beauty or the fashion niches, okay? Be on the lookout for the most elite business startup series on here. I'll be posting it, and it is going to be for those of you who are interested in beauty and fashion. Okay, this information is going to be publicly posted on November 15th, which is a Tuesday. That is, I believe, 2 Tuesdays from now. I'm going to be focusing on the strengthening and the alignment of business development, personal development, spiritual development. And the reason why we're focusing on all of these things is because, first off, personal and spiritual need to be worked on just as much as your business do. That is how you as a person will grow, and with your own personal growth, you'll be able to truly and effectively and as efficient a way as possible, grow and scale your business as well. Okay. Excuse me. I'm sorry. We will also be promoting physical fitness by way of original workout videos. I do regular workouts, a regular like hit core exercise. I do yoga, I do Zumba, I do whatever my little heart tells me to do when I feel like moving my body. Okay. There may be a day where I just put on one of those Beyonce songs where she's just telling you to do 1,001 dance steps, and we'll do that together. You never know. You never know what you're going to get with me. All right. And then, of course, we're also going to be focusing on mental health, especially because of the fact that, like I said, they do plan on keeping people isolated and eventually making societal outcasts, which, guys, I'm so sorry I didn't say this before, but remember earlier when I said I'm a see it to believe it kind of person, and I said that I believe that I saw what I had to see with what happened to Kanye. It seems to me that he's going to be America's first outcast. I don't know. Okay. We'll see. Anywho, like I said, mental health. So we'll be doing meditations, which will be all original and recorded, obviously pre-recorded. I'll also be putting motivational messages and affirmations in the beginning of every business development video. And then also I'm going to have for my Fridays only, specifically mental health day. If you have any kind of issue at all, guys, that you're going through in business specifically, I'm gonna start. Definitely feel free to book a free thing on my calendar, a free call on my calendar. We'll talk for like 30 minutes. I'll help you figure out your shit. Okay. And then yes, we're gonna keep on going now. Now we're gonna get into my service-based businesses. The startup information that I have for you guys will start being posted January 15th. Okay. And in this, I am going to be focusing on helping you focus on creating and packaging a unique offer that truly impacts the community and offers transformational results for any of your paid clients. And now, obviously, the reason being is because transformation, if they are looking to pay for a service, is really what they are. The idea always is that there's a problem, there are steps to a solution, and then there's what they want. Point A, point B, and then there's the road in between. People usually like to travel that road in between with as little obstacles and as little hiccups as possible. So it's going to be your job as the service provider to create a clear, straight, narrow path that provides as little potholes, hiccups, whatever the case may be as possible, so that your people can upgrade in a specific set time period with as little mistakes as possible. Okay. We are also going to teach you how to create demand for your product as a new service provider, or even if you've been struggling as a service provider in general, as well as physical fitness and mental health being promoted as well. Okay. And then last but not least, for those of you who like music and are interested in creating music, I'm doing something for those who are aspiring to be independent artists as well. That information also will be posted up on January 15th. And here we're going to be focusing on how to market and sell your music without the major backing of a label. Obviously, how to create a fan base from scratch using your social media platforms and things like that. Also things like how to do bookings or how to find bookings, things of this nature, so that you are able to go out and perform and get paid for your music. Okay. I'll be teaching you, yes, like I said, how to build an audience from scratch. And then of course, physical health or physical fitness is going to be promoted, but just a tad bit heavier, because as a performer, you have to constantly and consistently practice things like breath work, because you're going to be up on a stage moving around, and there's a whole lot of other outside factors that play into things too. Like if you have smoke, you have the lights, lights make you hot, things of this nature. So you have to be really, really, really great when it comes to your breath work. Okay. And then also you have to have that energy and that stamina to keep up, because then otherwise you'll just be out here looking like a spicy icy, and we don't want that. Right. So bam, that's that. And then, of course, we're going to work on mental health as well. And then also something else that we're going to be doing is creating your artist personality, right? So You definitely do need to go back and forth between who you truly are and who it is that you want to convey to the public, right? So we're going to help you with creating that sort of alter ego, and then trying it on for size, and then obviously becoming it. Okay, we're getting all of this stuff together, all right, because we need to build seriously. Now moving on to my more affordable business startup training. All of this stuff is really, really affordable, nothing over 2 figures. Okay, so starting out, we're going to start a YouTube membership pretty soon after I do all of these different free trainings. Okay, this is going to be exclusive to the aforementioned niches. So your membership is going to be literally labeled with what it is that's going on. This is going to be for product-based owners, for service-based owners, for music creators. Okay, those memberships will be $3.99 to join. And why would you pay the $3.99 to join? Well, you will gain access to exclusive business development trainings and online networking events. Now, notice that I said trainings and not coaching. Okay, so training is what you do when you start a new job for the first time ever, day one, and they have to teach you how to do it. Right? So you're starting a business, assumably for the first time ever, and you've never done this before. You need help with figuring out how to get it done. I'm going to train you in business. So instead of saying, okay, number one, determine what niche you want to work in, I'm going to give you exercises to do that help you with determining what that niche is. After we've determined the niche, okay, now let's discover what the target market is. Not only will I teach you how to find your target market and your target audience accurately, but we're also going to actively research our target markets and audiences as well, okay, etc., etc. Training so that you know what to do. You will not necessarily need a coach or any coaching moving along inside of this membership, but of course it is definitely accessible to you if you want it, and it's accessible to you at discounted pricing at that. Okay, and then obviously there will also be exclusive business promotional offers. Now, for those of you who are artists, don't feel bad because I said business offers, because your music most definitely is a business offer. Okay, business building collective, this is going to be a group chat. Okay, this is the most expensive of these more affordable things, and this is $75 to join. This is also going to be exclusive to those aforementioned niches. We are going to work on the personal, business, and spiritual development and alignment, and get a way to work in cohesion between the three of them. You will be receiving weekly 1 hour long business training sessions. Okay. You will receive daily chats and motivation centered around the betterment of your life and your business. You will be appointed an account to business buddy, who obviously is a buddy who is going to be holding you accountable for getting the tasks done and the work done that you need to actually foundationally build your business, and grow and scale. Okay. And then you will also receive 3 free one-on-one coaching calls to help you bring everything together full circle if need be, as well as access to a small, close-knit community filled with like-minded individuals that you can learn from, bounce ideas between, and grow from and with. Okay. And then last but not least, the Hello New World podcast. This is going to be open for anyone who is interested in learning and staying up to date with any information like this. Also, guys, we're going to be going over skincare, hair care for both men and women. You will have access to business resources that can help you with funding, as it is that I actually offer funding to my clients, okay, which will help you with building your business credit, by the way. We will also have an abundance of financial literacy and financial freedom discussions, as well as opportunities available to you guys. And then there's going to be live music reviews every Wednesday and every Friday for the first 2 weeks after you guys do complete a coaching package with me. You receive your music in rotation for free for 2 weeks. And then after that, the viewers will be voting on whether or not they wanted to keep your song in rotation. Okay. You also will receive business promotional opportunities and product reviews that is exclusively given to you guys. Also, you'll be first to know about any upcoming in-person events, or retreats that I will be hosting. And then last but not least, we'll have the advice from a mogul session, which kind of helps me tap back into that whole mental health thing. Okay. This is business advice for callers and listeners who wrote in with business concerns, questions, problems, and the likes. Okay. Now, guys, we're moving on to the moderately priced business coaching programs. These are group coaching programs, okay? So the first group coaching program is called Push and P with Nigel Monet, and this is for those of you who are all product-based owners, okay? This is not going to be exclusive only to those of you who are interested in beauty or fashion. I don't care if you sell electronics. I don't care if you just sell bucket hats. I don't care if you just sell fishing hooks. It doesn't matter to me. You sell a product, okay? This is for those of you who are new and or struggling in business and you want to start your own successful personal brand. My groups here do not typically include any more than 6 members, and I keep them small for a reason. That reason is that you guys receive 4 free weekly one-on-one coaching calls, okay? Also, I will be walking you through ideation all the way to your launch. So from the time that it has sparked in your mind to the time that you're ready to launch and sell, excuse me, okay? I will also show you how to enter and dominate your industry, enter and dominate your niche, and position your brand to get and stay relevant, which is something that everyone wants in terms of business creation. And then last but not least, I'm going to show you how to create a brand that is in demand. So if you want all of that, yeah, then get inside my course, okay? Also, guys, we will be doing 2 weekly group training sessions, okay? Because of the fact that the information is generally taught in the courses. And so then after that, you receive training, all right? Next, we have Innovators Anonymous. And this is for those of you who are looking to start a very lucrative service-based business, okay? This is for the new and struggling service-based owner, obviously, and these groups also typically do not hold more than 6 people in them. I will be teaching you guys how to structure your group and your one-on-one sessions, whether you are someone who's a coach, whether you're someone who's doing something like marketing or starting your own marketing agency and you want to show your people what it is that they receive when they purchase your marketing packages, okay? Also, guys, we're going to create your irresistible transformational offer because, as I said, people want to get from A to B with as little loop-de-loops, turns, trips, and freaking potholes as possible. Okay. We'll also do live discovery call training. This is going to be done at the end of every group session that we have together, group training that we have together. And what we're going to do is kind of like a role play thing. So one person will come up and they'll be doing their own discovery calls, like as it's scripted for them to speak to people who book calls with them. But the idea, guys, is that you guys act as if you are clients who are genuinely interested in this product. And based off of what it is that you hear from this person's discovery pitch, you decide whether or not you would have invested in that product or not. If your answer is no, you tell them why. If your answer is yes, you tell them why. This is going to be done for each and every one of you each and every time, so that once our time together ends, you are able to close as many clients as humanly freaking possible, okay? Yes, like I said, we're doing 2 weekly group coaching calls. You get 4 free one-on-one coaching calls. And then at the end of it all, once we're wrapping up our coaching time together, you get an interview to launch your brand on Hello New World podcast or on my YouTube channel. How it is that I interview you is completely up to you, whether you want to put your face to your brand that fast or whether you just want to put your voice to your brand that fast. It depends on your character that you have created. Okay. And then last but not least, we have Money Making Music. And this obviously is going to help those of you who are interested in becoming an indie artist become just that, the best one that there is. Okay. Obviously, this group also doesn't typically group more than 6 people together. You'll learn how to get people interested in your music, genuinely interested in your music. You'll do live training on how to build a fan base from scratch using your social media platforms. Tips on how to fund your own music products that actually make it onto the radio. Obviously, like I said, we're going to do training together so that you know how to bring to life the character of your stage person. Okay. You get 2 weekly group training calls as well. I'm thinking of doing like an artist development kind of thing for those. So that's going to be dealing with things like your performance delivery and stuff like that. Okay. How you interview as well. And then also you get 4 free one-on-one coaching calls. And at the end of it all, if you've never heard your music on the radio before, even if you have, it doesn't matter to me. But what you'll be able to do is have that music and spin, like I said earlier, for 2 weeks. Past those 2 weeks, people vote on it if they want to keep you in rotation or not. Okay. And then last but not least, my business startup fast track, which, like I said, is the most expensive, but also the most drastically discounted, guys. So this is exclusive to those aforementioned niches. So music, product, and service. Okay. Yes, exclusive to those 3. I'm only taking 10 one-on-one clients at a time. I feel like this is the best way for me to devote my time to those one-on-one clients, the ones who deserve that or who feel they need that time, right? It is both technical learning as well as hands-on training. So just the same way that the group coaches do receive the courses, you will have access to the same courses. You'll have lifetime access to these courses, okay? And you will also be having your training sessions live on video with me. So depending on who you are, we're almost always, obviously first going to talk about pitching the business and how to be comfortable with doing that and how to ask for the sale and stuff like that. Then we're going to role play. You show me what you would say. I, spit back to you, and we converse until we come to a common agreement of what it is first that you want to say, and how it is that you're most comfortable asking for the sale, so that you are able to also make as many sales as humanly possible. Okay. You're going to work closely with me on up to 3 marketing campaigns for your brand. Now, I want to explain that they're not all going to be handheld. Okay. You get the first one with me, with you on training wheels, me holding your bike, essentially, right? The second one, you have one training wheel off, but I'm going to let your bike go eventually. And then the third one, you have no training wheels, and then I'll hold your bike for the first 5 seconds, let you go when you're flying. All right. I cannot take on too much energetically, obviously, or really, I just can't overload my plate. And it is more important to me to know that you actually know and are competent enough to pull off a marketing campaign. At the end of our coaching sessions, I always do have an open heart-to-heart discussion with you about where you believe you are in business, how it is you feel you're going to, where it is you feel you're going to be within the next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 1 year. And then if you feel like you're ever going to come to a point where you need coaching again, which if you do, that's completely fine. But we're going to get into why it is that you believe that, because typically after I finish coaching with someone, they're good to go. Okay. So that's that. And then you'll have up to 3 marketing campaigns promoted on both the YouTube channel and the podcast. We'll also be teaching you how to use pop culture events and news to better the positions, or to better position your brand. As well as research and analyze your market and audience to better position your brand as well. Okay. Now we're moving on, guys. Last but not least, I want to let you guys know that all of my packages do have substantial time extensions added to them. Okay. So before this, I had a 3-month, a 6-month, a 9-month. Okay. So obviously my 3 months has now been upgraded to a 6-month package. My 6-month has been upgraded to a 9-month package, and my 9-month has been upgraded to a 12-month package. With that being said, guys, that is all that I have. As these things are made available for purchase, you guys will most certainly be the first to know here on this channel, here on the podcast, here, whatever. You're going to be the first to know if you're following me on these platforms. Okay. I may not have all of the answers, like I said earlier, But I am 100% sure that these few answers that I do have and that I am willing to share with you can not only help you escape whatever disparaging situation you may have found yourself in currently, but also get you in a position to level up and to glow up your personal wealth, your personal prestige, and your personal power in the eyes of this new communistic American government thing that they have going on. As I said to you guys before, Little Kim was the first one to let me in on this. And so they ain't really told me nothing new about, money, power, respect, right? But yeah, that's that. So I'm not going to say any more on that. If you, like me, feel hoodwinked, if you feel bamboozled, if you feel led astray, if you just straight up and down mad, then you definitely need to make sure that you're back here November 15th. I don't care if you want to start a product-based, service-based, or do music. It doesn't, or do anything else under the sun. It does not matter to me, okay? Just at least find yourself here November 15th, because this is when the free content is going to start being pumped out. So this way you're at least getting used to me as a coach. You're at least getting used to my type of content and how it is that I produce my content and put things together. You're getting used to these things. And then you can make a fair decision on if these are some things that you are ready and willing to invest in. Okay. With that being said, guys, definitely make this a friend and family affair as well. If you have friends, aunties, cousins, sisters, mamas, whatever, I don't care, who are all really ambitious self-starters and are looking to get 10 steps ahead, 12 steps ahead, please make sure that you point them in the direction of this channel. Anyone who's interested in creating a livelihood that paves the way to financial freedom and generational wealth, point them in the direction of this channel, because we at Mobile Minded Solutions are dedicated to not only building up a community through social learning and education, but also by creating a village that thrives off of nothing more but Black power, Black love, Black excellence, Black brilliance, all right? All that good stuff. If you're looking for a more subtle way to show your support for the channel, that's fine, okay? Or even for this cause, that is also fine. Understand this is something that you have to take with a grain of salt when you initially hear it. I'm just going to state again, I've already seen it. They showed me what can happen when they did what they did to Kanye, and that's really all that I needed to see, okay? You could simply just share this video on your platforms, okay, so that we are getting this information to those that this type of system would have the worst possible effect on. That's the people that look like us. That's middle class people. That's lower class people. That's working class people, blue collar, white collar, all them collars, okay? Collars, no commas, all right? And then obviously, guys, I cannot force you to make a move. I can only ask you to make it. So please, as much as I'm joking inside of this video, definitely make sure that you get this video in front of as many eyes as possible so that you can also inspire people to make a move, or inspire people to make a move. We have to start moving. It's all about starting. It's not going to start if you're just sitting there hearing things, getting mad about it, not discussing it, and then just going on and waiting for them to do something else to make you mad. That's crazy. As always, as always, guys, if you have enjoyed the video and you're not afraid to show your support, please, again, like. If you dislike the video, dislike. I don't care. Get me into the algorithm. Share the video. Definitely comment if you feel called to do so. Smash that subscribe button. Smash that post bell notification. Smash all once you hit the post bell notification so that you are receiving all of these uploads as I put them up, guys. Definitely, if you have not heard of the social credit scoring system yet, let me know what you think about this. How do you think it's going to affect your life? How do you think it's going to affect your loved ones? What are you thinking about it? If you have heard about it, let me know if there's anything that I may have misconstrued as I was sharing this message here. If there's anything that I missed, drop that down. Again, the only way that we're going to be able to work against something like this is if we start to have these conversations, okay? So let's discuss it. It is uncomfortable to talk about, but you know what? I'd rather have an uncomfortable discussion than no discussion and get stuck. All right. That being said, guys, as I always say, dream of millions until you guys manifest them bitches. Yes. All right. That's all I have for you guys today. Thanks so much for your support. I do immensely appreciate all of the support that I have been receiving so far. And thank you in advance to any future supporters of this channel as well. Until next time, moguls, like I said to you, dream of millions until they manifest.
Happy Hunger Games, and may the odds be ever in your favor.
It's been real, but no big deal, moguls. I will see you in the next video, guys. Goodbye.
Now I could do whatever I want. Running business meetings and be pulling on a blunt. 24 karat plans, cause I'm bougie and I'm